A very warm welcome to the second edition of AsiaBerlin online events. My name is Jan Lachenmeier, and I'm one of the managing directors of enpact. We are hosting and organizing this event together with the Berlin Senate. Let me introduce enpact. A few words for those who don't know what enpact is and what we do. enpact is a non-profit organization headquartered in Berlin, and we empower entrepreneurship in emerging markets. We set up startup support programs and build ecosystems in Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, and the Middle East. So today's session will be about Japan, and it's fantastic to see that coming because AsiaBerlin has not been so active in Japan yet, and we are here now and going to change this. So I would like to introduce our host today, my dear colleague Elena, and she will guide you through today's show where we will discuss and elaborate bridges between Berlin and Europe to Japan and Japan's startup ecosystem. Elena, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Jan. Welcome, everyone. We are very excited to have you join us on our third community event in the AsiaBerlin event series. We will focus on Japan-Berlin cooperation with startup ecosystems. And I will go over the agenda for the event, which is in 3 parts. So the first part, we will hear from our partner, Dr. Rainer Seider, Head of Unit for International Cooperation at the Berlin Senate, and he will share more about the AsiaBerlin news. The second part of the event, we will hear a success story from a Berlin-based company InFarm, the fastest growing farming network, and its CEO and founder, Erez Galonska, and his investor, Ikuo Hiraishi, who is also managing director of InFarm Japan. So they will share how the investments were made and plans for growth. And our third part of the event, we will hear from the 4 community partners who are building bridges between Japan and Berlin. And they are Darius Moeini from Berlin Innovation Agency, Chika Yamamoto from CROSSBIE, Andrew Haw from Silicon Allee and Berlin Founders Fund, and Makoto Takeda, CEO of bistream. So our first speaker is Dr. Rainer Seider. We're very excited to speak with you, Rainer. And as Japan and Germany are among the largest industrial nations with also very active startup ecosystems. So what does it mean from the Berlin Senate side? How would you describe the cooperation in the context of the AsiaBerlin activities that we do?
Yeah, thank you, Elena, very much for inviting me today and giving me the opportunity to speak to you and to explore a bit the Berlin Japanese startup cooperation. And welcome from the Berlin Senate as well at this opportunity. I think the cooperation between Japan and Berlin is quite young in the field of startups. The startup ecosystem in Japan is not very mature yet. We have not so many founders culture, but more conglomerates in Japan as a tradition. And now it's starting, but it's still very national, so very Japanese, the ecosystem, not very much English speaking. And the most startups are not very much oriented towards international cooperation, including Germany and Berlin, of course. And it starts now, and there is a big awareness for that lack of internationalization because no market is big enough for a startup. You always have to think globally. And so it's very important also for Japanese startups, and people know about that, to go abroad. And in that context, that means that people who are quite actively supporting the startup ecosystems, which is in the case of Japan, the state and the conglomerates, they know that they have to cooperate internationally. And that's a good moment because there's a big awareness for that we step in and start our cooperation with Japan. So in fact, right now, because up to now we did not do so much in the context of Japan in the AsiaBerlin activities, but now we are starting with this event and to build more bridges between Japan and Berlin. And I'm very happy that we have so many bridge builders here today, because it's not only Chika and Makoto and Darius and Andrew, but also Ikuo, who is the investor in Infarm and the managing director in Infarm Japan. And he is also a bridge builder for a long time. And he's writing about the Berlin ecosystem in Japanese for many years already. So there are strong persons here today. And it's a very good selection of the people, because these are the people who put forward our cooperation. And I think there are already some very exciting news or information about Japan, and regarding Berlin, and that's money. Because there are great investments in Berlin companies by Japanese actors, stakeholders, and it's on the one hand is SoftBank, on the other hand it's SoftBank. So we all know the SoftBank Vision Fund, also at least in the startup ecosystem, which is probably the biggest and most crazy investor in startups worldwide. And they made of Auto 1 in 2018 and of Get Your Guide in 2019 in Berlin, new unicorns. So this was big signs, but also the SBI, which is a spin-off of SoftBank as well. SBI invested already in Solaris Bank in 2017, and that's the news from last week. They will build up a fund in Berlin for Europe, and they choose Berlin after a selection of other possibilities. They choose Berlin for the headquarters of the European activities for a 200 million fund, together with the Berlin VC fund. So I think that's a great sign that there is an interest from the Japanese side towards Berlin and an awareness that Berlin is a place to be in Europe.
Wow, that's huge news. We're very excited. And so we will meet the CEO and founder of Infarm, and he's representing smart city, topic that is very important for us at AsiaBerlin. Can you please share some maybe news, or how do you incorporate this topic in the AsiaBerlin Summit in September?
Yeah, we're very happy that we could postpone the summit to 21 to 27 September this year, and that we always had a large picture of smart city or urban tech topics in the Asia Pacific Week in former times, now in the AsiaBerlin Summit, and the idea is to have it even bigger now. And all the impact activities, the delegation trips over the last year, they all were oriented also towards smart city or urban tech. So it's for Berlin, it's very important, because that's really a quality of the Berlin city, because you don't have just the city as a showcase, but you also have the startups like Infarm, who are worldwide famous for their activities. In the context of the AsiaBerlin Summit, we want to see the picture also from an Asian perspective, and that we are aware that there are similar problems as we do have in Berlin. Similar solutions are developed, and the cooperation in this field seems to be quite necessary and useful. And this year will be dominated by the topic of cities and climate, so urban tech and climate. So the impact on cities, on the climate, and of course of smart city solutions for maybe a better climate. But this year it will be also added the Corona focus. I will have a breakout room after the session, so at 11:45, I think.
Yeah.
So you can have questions or share your experience on the AsiaBerlin activities as a whole. So as we organize together with enpact these events and also delegation trips, but also the AsiaBerlin Summit and other activities online and offline. So hopefully in the future more offline again. The next big thing in our experience will be hybrid formats. So integrating the public, the audience in the room with the online people, and we are just thinking now how to do it best to make synergies possible, and not a bad online format which is good on offline or vice versa. And that will be our next experience, and we would like to get your experience with these forms of cooperation, specifically online and hybrid formats, and we would like to learn from that. So if you have any ideas, you can share that with us, either in the breakout room afterwards or later on. And of course, we have a website, we have a newsletter, so you get all the news you would like to have, and just asking us how to get access to this. So, and thank you very much again for the invitation, and I wish best luck for the rest of the event, and also greetings to Japan, where it's now late afternoon, and we hope that there is a strong audience who is getting interested and curious to cooperate with Berlin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very